Hi guys, I am Goddess Green. I would like to share with you how to create strong boundaries or how to create better boundaries for yourself. We're living in a time where everyone is talking about having boundaries and stating your boundaries very clearly, and I 1000% believe in this. But there's also a part of having boundaries that hasn't really been talked about, and that is the part where your boundary is sort of speaking for itself, where your energy is sort of exuding who you are, what you want, and how you want things, and where things are going for you, and how true things are for you. It's sort of like an energy that is existing underneath your reality that is causing your reality to look in a certain way that already supports your strong sense of boundary. Now, harmony in relationships and harmony with life is very essential. There's a way you can have harmony and still have a strong sense of boundaries and still have your world exuding a very healthy sense of boundaries. The first way is to strengthen your sense of self. Strengthen your sense of self. You have to be clear about what it is that you want. You have to be clear about the things you want. You have to be clear about your purpose. You have to be clear about what you believe in. You have to be clear about what you prefer. You have to be clear about how you want to spend your life. Be clear about the places you want to go, the things you want to do. Be very clear about this. The more often you draw a vivid picture about all the things in life that represent who you really are and all the things that are what you really want, the stronger your sense of self will become. Meaning you be very clear about where you're going, what you're doing, who you are. Therefore, any kind of influence that is not a match to this, any kind of information from the external world, whether it be a person, some circumstance or event that is going on in your life, some circumstance or event that is going on in your life, if it's not a match to all the things that you've become clear about when it comes to yourself, then you can start to identify it, and then you can start to do the work to sort of move it out of your energetic space. You can move it out of your reality. Whatever you move out of your energy, you move out of your reality. If you stop thinking certain thoughts, it eventually fades away from your reality. If you stop feeling certain negative emotions, it eventually fades away from your reality. That's how you get your reality to sort of reflect that healthy sense of boundaries that you are. And that was perfectly said. The healthy sense of boundaries that you are. You have to be it in order to be able to experience it, and in order to be able to be influenced into the actions, the words, the dynamic, the thought forms, all the things that will inspire you into being a person that has a healthy sense of boundaries. All those things will start to happen naturally because it will be stated clearly in your energy who you are, what you want, where you're going, what you're doing, what your purpose is, what feels good, what doesn't feel good. The more you clarify this within yourself, the clearer it will start to reflect in your external world. Your friends are going to be a reflection of this. Your relationships, romantic relationships, will be a reflection of this. Your home, the people you spend time with, the things you do, how you spend your time, how you spend your day, how you're taking care of yourself, how you feel about your body and your mind and your space. It's going to reflect this healthy sense of boundaries that you're starting to have. So boundaries are also beyond just a human to human dynamic. Boundaries are also how you're appreciating your home and the things you have and the things you love. By doing that, you're setting a boundary to negativity. You're putting what you want there and stating clearly that this is how this is going to go and this is how this is going to feel, which is it's going to go according to what I say and how I want it to feel. So you're putting that there. So once you put that energy there, you've already put that boundary there. And it's going to take less in words and action and doing in order for you to sort of like get your boundary set, or to sort of set it across or present it in whatever situation that you might be. It's going to be speaking for itself. So allow yourself to have your dreams, allow yourself to visualize, allow yourself to appreciate, and to keep practicing all these things, because the more you do this, you're already clarifying your energy, you're already stating who you are, what you want, where you're going, and you're becoming very, very solid in this. The more solid you become in this, the more your sense of self becomes really, really strong, and you kind of know who you are, and you know what you're doing here. So everything else that doesn't have anything to do with that is going to automatically be repelled by you, and you're going to repel it as well. The second thing to do is to appreciate and accept your sense of self. You have to appreciate what is. When you appreciate what is in your life, how it is in your life, when you appreciate who you are, the beautiful things about you and your imperfections, when you appreciate the things that are already in your life and the things that are already working out, and you also appreciate the things that are not there yet, the things that haven't worked out yet, the things you haven't created yet, the things that haven't shown up yet, you're basically saying that just as your life is, as everything is right here, right now, in this time and place, you're saying that just as I am with my fears and insecurities and worries and anxieties and uncertainties and positive traits, my confidence, my expression, my creativity, my passion, my love, all the good and the bad, just as it is about me, about the people in my life, about the circumstances in my life, about everything that is going on right here and now. If you can appreciate that, you're appreciating everything just as it is. When you're appreciating everything just as it is, you can accept it just as it is. Once you appreciate it just as it is, you become very sensitive to anything or anyone or any circumstance that is not in appreciation to everything that you are clearly stating within yourself and to the universe that you appreciate and love and is perfect just as is. So anything that is not a match to that, that is coming into your reality, whether it's in the form of somebody's words or someone's intentions or someone's actions or the way a certain dynamic is going in the external world, and you're feeling like you really need a strong sense of boundary and you really need to sort of exude yourself and your desires and what you want, whenever you're in that circumstance, but you're feeling a state of appreciation for yourself just as you are, and a state of appreciation for everything just as is, that circumstance will have nothing, it will have no other choice but to mold and become something that matches your energy, or it moves away from your space, because you are sort of putting an energetic field outside of you, like a cocoon of just positive energy. Everything that comes out of you is positive. Everything that you're putting out to the universe is positive. So the only things that can come in your space have no other choice but to be positive in order for it to survive in your space. Anything negative coming into your space will either be transmuted to positive or will be repelled, because there's no room for it. There's no room for the negativity. It's not going to be comfortable. It's not at home. You've dictated the kind of energy that surrounds you by placing positivity on everything that is in your life as it is. So if you say everything in your life just as it is, even the mishaps and the imperfections and the weird things and the things we look at as bad and wrong and inadequate, even when you make a mistake, if you can look at it and say, I appreciate this, and I know this is a good thing, and because everything around me that happens is good, and everyone around me is good, and life is good just as it is. You're no longer afraid of your imperfections. You're no longer afraid of what you're lacking. You no longer have guilt or fear or shame or insecurities or lack of self. You no longer have all these things that you're trying to either run away from or run toward, because you are communicating that everything is fine right here, right now, and just as is. Once you're in this space, you've already created a massive cocoon of positive energy, and this cocoon already serves as your boundary. So now once you have that energy exuding out of you, when you find yourself in a situation where you have to state your boundary, if the need be, or you have to do something to make it clear what your boundary is, it's very easy for you to do it. You no longer have the hesitation, you no longer have the fear, you no longer have the insecurities, you no longer have the lack of self, you no longer have the excuses that were holding you back in the past from really clearly saying that this is how things are for me, and this is how it will be, and this is how it will continue to be. Those excuses and those patterns and the beliefs that were causing you to not state your boundary just evaporate. They disappear. You no longer have that issue anymore. Most likely, as you move through this world, you're gonna just notice things just working out for you, and you not even ever having to be in situations where you even have to state your boundary. It is just known. It just is. So appreciate and accept where it is that you are, just as it is, and do the same for yourself and your circumstances. Thirdly, practice your responses to the things that don't match. Now, our minds are built to receive information and transmit information, and we are living in the time of information, and there's so much information coming in constantly, and you are also projecting stuff. The more you start to wake up and you start to practice these tools and realize these things, you start to be selective about what information you're letting into your mind and into your space, and what information that you are projecting out. When you're very aware of the information coming in and coming out, then you can start to define your own mental boundaries. And like I said before, your boundaries are mental, emotional, and your physical space. So once you start to monitor your mental boundaries, you start to notice the information that is coming in. It could be beliefs that from society, beliefs on who you should be and how you should do things and how you should respond in situations, and what is the ideal way of living life, and what is the ideal person, and what the ideal life and circumstance should look like. The more you notice that kind of information and that kind of influence coming in, the more you notice the kinds of intentions that people are sending through their words, through their emotions, and the things that they're doing. Once you notice the energy and information that is coming in, once you're noticing the emotions that are coming in, and you're also noticing the emotions that you're projecting out, then you can start to really take control of that mental boundary. You can start to clearly state, okay, I don't need this information. Or you could start to practice responses. Like if you hear something critical in your mind, maybe you're just starting a new project and you're a little bit nervous and it's your first time and you feel insecure, and critical thoughts just keep coming in and in and in and in. These critical thoughts are just information that your mind is just running to protect you from something that you're signaling that you're afraid of. So it's sending information that is a match to that fear or insecurity that you're feeling. So once you start to notice that, you can start to set that boundary and start to practice and create a response and say to yourself, it's okay that I'm afraid. It's the first time I'm doing something like this. Of course it's going to be a little bit difficult. I'm coming out of my comfort zone for the first time. It's going to be strange. It's fine to be nervous and scared. I'm sure I'll figure it out as I go on. You know, everything is always working out for me. You sort of like rehearse your response when this fear kicks in, or when this insecurity kicks in, or whenever you receive any kind of information that seems like it's making you nervous or anxious or feeling negative or experiencing lack of trust, lack of self, lack of worthiness, lack of time, whatever the case might be. Once this information is coming in, you can start to set that boundary, like I said, and decide how you're going to respond to it. So the more you practice your response to it, the more you ignore it, you practice your response and move your thought to something more positive, your brain becomes adapted to this, and you start creating neural pathways that are along the lines of what it is that you're practicing. And whenever something in your external world, maybe a person, a situation, a circumstance, comes up and triggers that same kind of insecurity, or that same kind of fear, or that same kind of pensiveness to start something new, you already have your practiced response. And your practice response, of course, comes with a practiced emotional state. So if you've been practicing saying that it's going to work out and everything's going to go well, when you have a circumstance in your external life, like maybe the beginning of the project was a fail, and now your insecure thoughts are coming again and you're receiving that information, you've already practiced the response. So you can soothe yourself and bring yourself back to a place of well-being, a place where you can start to feel that everything is going to work out. So the more you do this, you're also creating that cocoon of positive energy around your emotion. So anytime any information is coming in that could make you feel insecure, you know what to do. It happens automatically. The thoughts come in that create that cocoon of security and bring you back to an emotional place where you're starting to feel secure, or more sure-footed and more certain about what it is that you're doing, or what it is that you want to do with yourself and your time. So the 3 ways to create a strong boundary for yourself is to strengthen your sense of self, strengthen who you are, what you want, where you're going, what you're doing, what you want to do with your time. I'd be as specific as possible about who you are. The more clear you are with this, the more you can start to clean out whatever doesn't match what it is that you have stated is that you, that being, that specific person. Anything that doesn't match this will be automatically repelled energetically. It'll be repelled from your energetic state and space. The second way is to acknowledge and appreciate where you are already. Acknowledge and appreciate who you are already. Every single detail of it, even the mishaps, every single little thing as it comes up, wherever it is, however it's going, just find a way to get to an appreciative and accepting state about it. When you do this, you are saying that only good things, only things that are appreciated and accepted and loved are allowed in your space. You've created an energetic boundary. Anything that is not a match to this is definitely not going to be in your space and cannot get into your boundary. The third way is to practice your response whenever you get something from the external world that is not a match to your energetic boundary. The external world is a reflection of who we are and how we're feeling. If the world is appearing negative, unhappy, and is reflecting back insecurities, lack of self-confidence, lack of worth, lack of time back to us, that means that that's the energy that we are carrying. And if you can start to notice what the world is reflecting to you, if you can start to notice the thoughts that are coming in and the thoughts that you are projecting, if you can start to notice these little things, you can start to practice your response to energy that is coming in that is not exactly a match to what you want and who you are. You can start to practice responding and reacting positively. The more you do this, the easier it's going to make you respond from a place of positivity whenever you feel something that does not belong to you, or is not a part of who you truly are and is not what you want. When you can feel this kind of energy in the form of words or actions or things in the external world, or other people or circumstances and events not working out, whatever the case might be, when you start to feel this encroaching on your world, your energy of just responding positively and defining it positively and using it to bring you to a positive space is also going to respond automatically. And once this responds automatically, you're going to find that moving through life and in everything you're doing and experiencing and you're seeing, it's all going to be positive, and it's all going to be beneficial to you, and it's all going to be working for you, and it's all going to be serving you. You are creating an invisible, energetic, positive boundary. And once you have this underlying energy surrounding you, you have to do minimal work, because things and people and places and circumstances that don't match you will never find their way to you. And then you don't even have to bother saying anything or doing anything or going anywhere or stressing anything. The work is just done for you, and you just enjoy. You just relax and enjoy. I'm Goddess Green. I love you. I appreciate you. Namaste.